Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today is going to be the second episode in the Celebrating Local Climbers series, and I'm super excited about this episode. Mark is one of the first people that I actually met at the climbing center, and like Marina said in the last episode, that she would go to the climbing center and if it was really busy she wouldn't climb. Well, I did the same thing, and Mark actually helped me so I could go there and kind of talk to Mark so I at least knew somebody. So, it made it a little bit easier. So I'm really glad that he was down to do this episode. I know that he did take a lot of the photos for the Obed PROUTE book. So I'm super excited to ask him some stuff about climbing photography and about climbing. Mark is a really cool climber to watch climb. He's very technical, and he's been climbing for a long time, so he's very smart when it comes to climbing. So I'm just really excited to see what he has to say, and I'm going to take this opportunity to get some beta on some of the problems that I've been working on. So one more thing I did want to mention: I'm an idiot and misspelled Marina's name in the last episode, so this is her Instagram. Go show her some love. I'm sorry about that, Marina, but thank you again for doing the episode, and let me know what you guys think about it. Like I said, I think it turned out great. It's always cool to see someone else's thought process on climbing and see how much different or similar that it is. So, but Mark is actually an employee at River Sports, so I'm not sure how long he's worked there. I'm not sure how long he's been a climbing photographer, but we're gonna find out that and a few more things. So let's just get over to the climbing center and get it started. Got it. Hold it. Oh.
Hello, my name is Mark Large. I'm an employee here at the Climbing Center at River Sports Outfitters. I've been climbing for 23 years. This is one of those things I really love doing, very passionate about. Keeps me physically strong and mentally strong, and makes me happy.
What got you into climbing?
I started off in Boy Scouts, working on a ropes course, and then I learned how to do all the rigging from working on a ropes course, and my friend Eric from a long time ago, he's a big instigator and doing a lot of things, and the climbing was a big part of it, and we just went outside and tried not to kill ourselves. I usually train probably 2 or 3 times a week because I try to rest a lot too. I think that's a big part of climbing, is knowing how to rest. Now that I have a family, I don't get out every weekend, so it's usually every other weekend that I get to climb.
How long have you been doing climbing photography?
Climbing photography? Probably since I started taking pictures. I started back in 2007. A lot of times, I would just take pictures of people climbing on the ground, or a lot of times I'd take pictures of the Obed. When I was learning how to use my camera, and I started off in film. And I was going to Pellissippi State at the time, taking photography classes, and got an associate's degree in photography, and spent a lot of times in the darkroom learning how to develop. And that's when I started trying to learn how to understand how to shoot the Obed, because a lot of times Obed's not the easiest place to shoot pictures of because it's overhanging. Right. You get a lot of dark where there's not a lot of light that goes in and gets underneath these roofs, and learning how to work with light in that kind of situation is a challenge.
So what's your favorite photo that you've ever taken, either climbing or non-climbing photos?
One of my non-climbing photos is when I got to go take a picture of the Ringling Brothers Circus. Because I always thought that would be a cool experience to go and take photos of the circus life, Yeah. To me, that is a lot of color and a bunch of different stories that you could find. I got lucky. They wouldn't allow me to just wander around though. I got press passes, And I went in there and I took pictures of just their pre-show. And I was fortunate enough to get pictures of like this one really cool shot of the ringmaster and an elephant with one of the beautiful model ladies, whatever, that rides on the back of the elephant as they're going around. And it was cool because the actual ringmaster was the first African American ringmaster, and he's a cowboy from Montana. And then the fact that I had an elephant, which to me has helped the actual photo become really amazing later on. Because I'm working at a small paper in Maryville, Tennessee, and part of our job is whenever we take a photo of something, we send it to the Associated Press. So I threw that in. It actually got used across the country because afterwards Ringling Brother decided they were going to stop using elephants. And so that ended up being a good picture, and a lot of newspapers across the country use that. So I got like something to add to my portfolio. Like, to be honest, nobody knows who you are. They see a name, but mostly the photo is what's famous. But it was definitely one of my favorite photos. And I didn't have to really worry about lighting because the circus, they do all that for you. But I got a really good composition, and it's just, a very memorable photo.
Awesome. Have you ever worked with any professional climbers, like doing photography or anything?
Well, I mean, I mostly take photos of my friends, but back when I was helping out with the first Obed Guidebook, went out with Jimmy Webb to take photos of him.
Awesome.
And Jimmy Webb started in this gym, so I've known him for a long time.
I was not aware of that. That's pretty cool.
He won't admit that. He'll say he's from Chattanooga. But yeah, he started in this gym and he made it to a pro level. He's like one of the best climbers in the world now.
Yeah.
But Kelly Brown got me to go out and take pictures of him on his first ascent of Shattered Minds.
That's really
and then I went and got pictures of him on Tilt-A-Whirl. And that Tilt-A-Whirl was the one they used in the guidebook. He's probably the only pro climber I've ever taken photos of.
Okay. And you mentioned about the Obed book.
Yes.
How was the process of doing a route book, and how long did it take you to get all of it done?
The route book probably took me about a year to do. Not all the photos were pretty. A lot of it was me taking pictures of every single route and boulder problem just for the guidebook. And not easy to shoot, especially, to get a good perspective. So I went more for the perspective of like, if you were like a climber walking up to the route, you would see the start of it and looking up. That way you could actually look in the guidebook and see the start. And, I pretty much walked the whole Obed getting pictures of all the routes and boulder problems. And then, I did a lot of action shots. I didn't do the whole book. There was other photographers that helped and put their influence in, but I did pretty much 75% of the work, like when it comes to the photography part.
Right.
And so,
in climbing photography, what's one of the biggest obstacles that you face? I guess you said lighting is one of them.
Lighting, and just, to me, it all depends on the situation. Some climbs are going to be easier to shoot than others. A lot of times with me, it's finding the right spot, and sometimes it's not obvious until because a lot of times I've been shooting where I'm taking a picture of my friend and I realize my better shots are of the other people climbing on the other routes, and it's like, if I would have just rigged my rope maybe 20 feet further over or whatever, I could have got a better angle of them. So it's really finding the right place to hang. I usually have an idea and I try to think about, when you're taking a picture of the climber, you want to usually be up above the climber. And then I try to think about trying to show the actual route, trying to show people what the route looks like. 'Cause a lot of times people don't really care about the climber as much as what they're on. The climber tends to be more of an afterthought. I usually think about, I'm trying to tell a story, so I'm trying to show the actual route, but then if I can show the climber's face and show what they're doing, their struggle, if they show an emotion. That's why a lot of times I don't pose people, I just tell them to climb. And I tend to do a lot of the work, and just trying to be there at the right moment to get the shot I need. So I usually try to think about where I need to be hanging and where at on the route,
Right.
And, you know, that comes with just practice and shooting a lot and a little bit of luck.
Awesome. All right. Well, Mark, I think that's about going to do it.
Cool.
I know your toe's injured.
Yeah.
So maybe we can maybe we can climb in a few days.
Yeah.
And,
oh, definitely.
Okay.
I'm all about that.
Well, I'm holding you to it, man.
Cool.
Awesome.